Oh yes, you can hear it in the background, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, the army of the Confederate States. And it is north and south, everyone. North and south, yes. Including blatant rifling going on over here, rifle butting. So, you can see these guys getting set up, and here, of course, are the fine members of the Confederate State Cavalry. Commanding Officer Lieutenant General Lucas, or Lieutenant General Lucas, from South Carolina. And, let's see what's going on over here. There's another recruit Barry there. And here is, oh god, dead horses. And we've obviously got the artillery section. As you can see, these fine guys with their shortened rifles, especially for those guys. And there's Private Jeff. And there's Malope, who's looking to get a little bit of a ride, maybe. So, you can see these guys now starting to move out into this battlefield. And you can see you can hear the fifes playing in the background. And the drums. To raise the spirits, so to speak, of the troops. And there's a guy in here who would have been here, a guy called, no, it's not Mal, it's called Chalakith, apparently, who's not feeling very well, so he's currently laid up, unfortunately, in one of the hospitals en route to the battlefield, and no doubt will be back on the battlefield very shortly. So, you can see here, obviously, plenty of ammo, but, you know, the cannon's not generally here. Now, let's find out what's going on, because it's looking like over there, that dust trail is being kicked up by what I would expect is the Union Cavalry. So, let's see if we can find out what's going on. You can still hear the fifes in the background. Okay, maybe not anymore, as one of them may have just died. It is. It's the Union Cavalry. And there's Colonel Lee. So look at these. Let's just double check our information, because they've had to move people around. And it's all very confusing, and there's a possibility that my brain might explode. So, yes indeed it is, of course, the Union. So, now you can see here other members of said Union Cavalry. There's Grandmaster, Gimcat, Jaff Hoobler, there's G. Custer, there's Densicles. Wonder if that's like popsicles. Anyway, so let's fly back and find out as Jaffa Hoobler manages to catch a cannonball. Look at that, fantastic catch with his face, and that cannonball just came bouncing over the hill and just caught him sideways. Very nasty indeed. So, here is the 88th New York. Look at these fine fellows with their hats and braidings and rifles, and they are in the process of engaging the enemy. And there is Major Steve MacGyver from the 88th New York. Looking wonderful. So these guys all looking organised. And who's the colour holder? Drew McIntyre. Or McIntyre, I suppose you could call him. And notice they have no musician with them, which is a shame. But obviously these guys... Oh! Yeah. Can you say ouch much? So, the 88th New York is now kind of the 8th New York. That's about all that's left right now. So, they pretty much lost about a third of their numbers with one very nasty mortar hit. And that would have been coming in from over here. Now, this is where you got to watch out, because the Confederate State artillery are pretty good. So, let's see what's going on, as you've got additional forces over here. These fine fellows, there's I.K. Hopper from South Carolina. Ah, drummer. And now we stop Panda the Beast. Surf. And let's find out, as you can see here, the Louisiana Volunteers and the 6th MO moving up. Alabamans as well. What's this? There is Brigadier General Reznov from the 19th Louisiana Volunteers. Oh, God. It's the Battle Bush. Yes, Lieutenant Colonel Nitek, the Battle Bush himself, has made a return. So he blends in with the with everything around him, as you can see. Yeah, the less said about that, the better, really. He just likes to spend his Saturday evenings face down in the bush. And who wouldn't? So, let's see. Let's see what's over here, because obviously these barricades, even though they look a little flimsy, they are actually quite good. And Union forces from the MR. Let's just see what's going on. That could be like the Mississippi River. I'm not 100% certain. So, there's Colonel Musiel. And, oh, here are the remaining members of the 88th New York who've joined in with them. So, that's good that they're keeping everybody together. Oh, and a nice headshot there from John Smith onto Dams 14. Oh, and it looks like they're getting range and pull out. I don't know what's going on, but somebody does not like the 88th New York today, because they seem to be literally firing cannonballs right at them. Now you can see that what's happening as a result of that, the Confederate State Army is starting to work their way up this fence so that they can essentially outflank the Union forces. But the problem is, if the Union forces run for it, which they kind of are, there's not really a lot of cover available to them. I reckon that if they're going to go anywhere, they would have to actually move down to this hamlet area here, where there is a gentleman who is currently AFK, and sort of defend through these wheat fields and this building, which unfortunately I don't think they can get in. So it's going to be a difficult situation, especially when you see here more forces. So you can see the 2nd Texans. So we'll just check the scoreboard. See, there we go. They are all Union forces. So they're covering that flank. Well, he's not. The commanding officer, unfortunately, the Rupert, as the British would call them, decided not to dunk. Or duck, I should say. And there's from North Carolina, Colonel Kohler. And Lieutenant Colonel Hale. Or Lieutenant Colonel Hale. So there's Nuclear Goat has been taken down. One of the commanding officers of the 6th MO. Which I was told last week what it stood for, and I've forgotten. Apologies, guys. Who are indeed. I had my thing written up here, but I must have fallen off my doodah, so I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, it looks like a charge is now coming in here from the Confederate State Armies, along with the Battle Bush, with probably what is the shortest sword ever in the history of the universe. To be honest, I'm not sure if that's a sword or a toothpick that Nitek's carrying. But if he gets... there we go, thank you. Serves him right for taking a toothpick into a battle. I mean, what's wrong with the man? So anyway, you can now see here, as the battle, they've jumped the Union forces, and the battle is going on in this main road area. You've still got some forces over there. Cannons continue to fire. And there's Brigade General Reznov now defending himself from an attack from Union forces. And that was Revo from the 2nd Texan. So fortunately his guys were on hand. Oh dear, Brigadier General King Bradley has just caught a cannonball. Oh dear. So, what can you say? But up here is a potential ambush. As you can see, these guys with their shortened rifles loading up. You can see them feeding the cartridges in. So you can see them putting in. Getting ready to fire back. Looking for an opportunity to get an important kill. The fire going back. Bit of 6-shootering going on. Coming in from Colonel Mosiel. And they're looking to try and hold this road. But you've got this guy here, who seems to be also armed with a toothpick. He'll be picking up the weapon off one of his fallen comrades. And it looks like this is where the Union forces have decided to make their stand. Well, this guy certainly has. That's all he's been doing since he started. So, here you see more Union forces. There's Hammerstout, Lieutenant Colonel of this. And I guess this is the commanding officer, Colonel Lee. As you can see, 5th VA. Fine gentleman from Virginia. Yeah, he's not so fine anymore. He's kind of slightly unwell. But you can see now, 42 versus 51. So it's quite... Can a dead general get a shout out for the Dixieland Army? Yes, General Lucas, you definitely can. Oh dear. So, let's see if we can find out what's going on, because obviously there's a lot more people left alive, but look at all this. Look at this carnage here. Oh, wow. That's not looking good for those guys. But it's also not looking good for them because you have the Confederate State Cavalry now moving down, being supported by the Confederate State Army. So you can see these guys making their way in and pushing up against the Union forces. So if we can find out how they're going to do. Let's see what's going on. There we go. One gets taken down. Dithen. Well, no, not Dithen, I should say. That was I'm Sunday losing his horse. Was dehorsed almost immediately. And now the horses are getting into the cornfield. I hope they're not going to stop and take a munch on one of them. But it looks like there's Grandmaster. Oh, he just avoided that slice. And he just avoided that one as well. Very nearly cut him in two. And there's I'm Sunday finally being sliced and diced. So Grandmaster now can continue. Correction. Well, he can, yes, actually. Oh, he takes down the horseman. Look at that. The cavalry member gets a nice stab on him, goes in for another swing in the middle of the cornfields. It's good to see that the corn's not actually getting in the way of this battle. Nice block. Oh, and then sliced across the back by Colonel Eric. Wow. More stabby goodness. Volunteerville. Oh, he's being barged aside. This is not looking good for him. Yep, that was pretty much it. Colonel Eric finishing it off. And let's see. As we're now looking for basically what is the stragglers. The remaining members of the Union Army. So, you can see here. It looks like they've got the members of the Union Army on the run. And these guys are pinned down. And this is going to be a problem for them because there's only a certain amount of defensive options they're going to have here, as you can see. Wasn't one for him. There's Captain Dealer. And another one, Cadet Landon. And Facepalm. So these guys are in a tricky situation now. It means that if they're going to move up, they've got to go tree by tree. And this is where it's going to get knotty. Especially for max voltage. He's seeing the enemy coming past him. And now he's got to try and move. But he may not be able to reload in time. Oh, yes, he will. And shoots max 1243. Right in the groin. Oh, you can't beat a good groin shot. So Cadet Landon is in danger. And there we go. Looks like Cadet Cuthbert gets team killed as they go after Lance Corporal Duff from Orleans. So, a casualty of war, I'm afraid, Sunshine. So, let's find out what's going on as we have another gentleman here. Private Orbez, as Volunteer Elite gets taken out very quickly indeed. And it looks like now the remaining Union forces, there is only 18 remaining, and this is some of them. Oh, look at that shot! Taking the horse down. Beautiful. Out comes the rifle. And he's going in to do the rifle butt slap. Or maybe even the front of it. Oh, dear. And Blab killing Major Ralph. And you can see there, finally, Lurahan being taken down. So now you've got a few members left here. Coney Luigi. And there's Dodo. And you can see the other members of the Confederate State Army moving up to support. And here come the reinforcements. This is not looking good for the Unions. The Union Army is going to be in deep doo-doo as these guys are on their way with bayonets fixed and rifles loaded. So you can see there that they're taking down. Yep, there we go. They just took down that cavalryman very quickly. I think that was Guderian. And now, oh, hit by a bullet, nasty. Shoot him in the back. Mr. Frank Underwood, the president, no less. It looks like they may actually do that. We'll see. And now they're chasing down the Union forces. Back to Camp AFK. Which is currently under an awful lot of artillery barrages, Camp AFK. So, here is the Union artillery. PFC Gregory. Corporal User. All bounce between them. And over on the right hand side we have Private Jonathan moving up. One of the defenders, Croc V. So he's trying to defend. And these guys moving back to the Fort O protection, as you can see. So at least they don't get charged by anybody from the front. And the extremely well protective tents that you guys know about. Uh-oh, he's running. He's running. Oh, he stabbed right through the head. Poor Cookie Man didn't stand a chance. Now you can see it looks like Alba's up against two members of the Union artillery. One with a cotton bud, but both with a saber. And they get a slice, but he's supported by a teammate. And there's a 6-shooter behind him by the sound of it. Yep, that's probably his commanding officer. Oh, Alba's sliced across the face. Or across the chest, basically. So this is where it gets dangerous. And this is where Brigadier General Reznov could have got in over his head here. Because he's now got somebody attacking him from the rear. That's exactly what happened. A stab in the side and Reznov is finished off. And there we go. More stabbing going on. Including a team kill onto Corporal User. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It wouldn't be Mountain Blade without a team kill like that at the end of the round. So, 19 Confederate, 2 Unionists. Or 2 Union players. Correction. The 2 members of the Union have just been unceremoniously assassinated. So, that is round number 1 over, ladies and gentlemen. We shall now return with round number 2. And so we return with round number 2 to this mighty battlefield. So, you can see over here the Union Camp AFK. And you can see it looks like they're actually spreading out their cannons this time. So they've got some cannons to the right of AFK. And over here, it looks like they're moving another cannon out to the far left. So those guys are moving out. Now, here come the Union forces, and you can see them making their way out. Whoops-a-daisy. Gun blazing, wrong line. There we go. So, murdered, assassinated. Henry Heth from the 2nd Texan. And you can see leading out this wonderful line of gentlemen. Don't they look great? Look at them all. And here you can see the parrot guns moving out. And who is this fine bunch? Ah, Captain Walter. OVI. Not 100% certain what OVI would actually stand for. Could be Overseas Volunteer Infantry, I don't know. Anyway. So, let's find out and see what we can do. Now, Leap Satana Homo, great name. You can see him. There's always one. Look at that. Ah, there we go. Oh, is that? Hang on. Hippie Raka. That's definitely either a Finnish. Yeah, I think that looks very Finnish, that name. So they're back at the spawn and will be moving out shortly after they've been fifed at. And you can see here the Confederate State Cavalry roaming around, kicking dust up wherever they are. Now, you can also see this bunch moving out. Well, almost this bunch. So this fella. Ah, Recruit Barry, waking up eventually. From Virginia. Obviously something slightly wacky in that tobacco that he's been smoking. And there's Dezella. And let's see what's going on. Because there seems to be a little bit of slicey goodness going on. Let's see if we can track it down. So here is more Union forces. Moving back into the same sort of defensive area they had previously. They've got to be careful. This is the 88th New York. Otherwise known as Catchers of Mortars. Poor Richard O'Donnell there. And it looks like they're moving up towards these couple of scouts from... Yep, there we go. There's Private Monk from South Carolina. A couple of South Carolina scouts moving around. And there's Private Dodo. Not yet extinct, but probably not far off it. And there's Recruit Barry from Virginia. So you can see there's been a few casualties. in this area. And that's probably as a result of these guys who've now moved down. But it means that their flank is maybe a little bit susceptible. We'll have to wait and see, but they are hiding behind good cover. These guys also hiding behind very hard cover. There's First Lieutenant Black. Lance Corporal Dark. The Hornist. Private Ocht. Complete with a nice pansy in his mouth. Just the daftness of these people just makes me laugh. So, let's find out what's going on over here. As you can see from the kill feed that lots of battling is going on. There's two guys here from this Caribou and Volunteer Elite from Orleans. There's Capitini. And there's Nuclear Goat. The Colonel, of course. Oh no, Draken taking down... Oh my goodness. This is nasty because now you can see the Orleans Guard has taken down the commanding officer and the second in command of the 88th New York. That's a serious problem for them now. You can see that the part of the problem that's happened, yeah, that's what's happened. They've been outflanked. A nasty play by the Orleans Guards means that they have actually moved in and actually outflanked the 88th New York, which means that these guys are now in a very dangerous position. They're being fired at from that direction. They're being fired at from that direction. But the cavalry, well, technically not speaking the cavalry, but the 26th North Carolinians have moved up and have forced those Confederate state forces out. But Lieutenant Black is moving up and pushing home the advantage against the 88th New York. Bringing his troops forward and then noticing behind him that where the bloody hell are my troops? Yeah, there we go. So, poor old Lieutenant Black. Poor man. He was hoping to lead his men to glory, and unfortunately didn't really work out that way. Ah, here comes his men eventually. Here they come. Yeah, a bit late for this poor fellow, but never mind. So there's Private Orbez, who we saw in action in the previous round. And by in action, we mean stabbed in the chest, but you know. Let's see if he manages to change his... what's the word I'm looking for? His fortunes on this particular one. That must be Otis doing the fluting. So, let's see what else we can find out about the battles that are occurring. Brigadier General Reznov with his band, his motley crew from the 19th Louisiana Volunteers, including Timotei, who seems to be having a slight seizure. But, you know, these are things that we don't really worry about. Frank Underwood, the President, has been taken down by Major Froggy. Those damn frogs. Just killed the President. Now, the North Carolinians here. Looks like they're going to try and stand and make a fight of it. Not sure this will be the good place. I mean, if they got near the fence, it might be a better option because these aren't actually see-through fences. That doesn't make it that good point to hide. Oh, Nitek! Nitek taken down. The battle bush has been murdered by the cannon of the Froggy. Oh my goodness, did you see that? Oh wow. Shrapnel and explosions coming in from Jeff, taking down multiple members of North Carolina. But the trouble is, you can see the North Carolinians now making their way back to Camp AFK. But the problem is that they're going to run into what looks to be, I'm not sure if this is, this looks to be possibly Union Cavalry, and yeah, it's Union Cavalry, and it looks to be obviously members of the Confederate State Army. So, not sure what's going on there, but it's all people having fun right now. You can see here a little bit of stabby goodness going into his horse. Oh, and straight into him before he can even get off the ground. Look at these guys. Oh, and a nice team kill. On to Henry Heth. Gotta love the team kills in this game. Just amazing. And now you can see more fire, or more stabby goodness occurring. There's Grandmaster still up on his horse, trying to overrun, and in come the North Carolinians, but Major Ralph, one of the few people left. Private Campo from Louisiana Volunteers. Looks like they're going to be guarding the artillery. And there's Alistrist, Flechita, and Captain Rivas. And there's Malope. And there's Jota. You can see with their fine cannons and the fine, awesome, dull thud that they make when fired. Listen to this. This is beautiful. Are you going to aim it, or are we just going to be standing here waiting for you to finish? Oh, God. Ah, there we go. So it looks like he's moving it over to one far side. Let's sort that out. Listen to that. Isn't it wonderful? Sounds fantastic. So that means then he would have been aiming down here towards the camp and down towards that hamlet where he sees the flag flying. So we shall make our way down there, but I want to find out what's going on with the nuclear goat. Ah, this is what's happening. Oh heavens, it's Union versus Confederate States, and this is going to get nasty because it's going to get up close and personal. In here there's going to be a few team kills which already appear to have happened, and yeah, I think it's fair to say that the Confederate State forces actually came off better there, with Brigadier General Reznov getting his guys back into line and getting ready. But the problem they're going to have, there's Lieutenant General Lucas, or Lieutenant General Lucas, is that the cannon is going to try and get range on them. So apparently the bounty on Lucas is now reward $1,000. So, and Nuclear Goat apparently has accepted it despite being dead himself. So I think when they say dead or alive, they don't mean the person who's collecting the reward can be dead or alive. I think they mean the person who they're supposed to be collecting the award for is supposed to be dead or alive. But I could be wrong. I mean, you know, that could be an aspect of history of which I'm not aware. Would be rather interesting. So you can see here the force is starting to split up, with Reznov and friends moving forward. 36 versus 45. Small line here. There's Oat and Gaspard. And they're looking to probably hook up with these guys. Oh, correction, not Baneblade, as he just managed to snuff it. Ah, this is what we're looking at. Union defensive position in the forest. And as you can see in there, with their lovely short rifles. And it is, of course, Colonel Musil. So you can see him. Now, if he gets a headshot with that, I'll be impressed. Okay. So you can see them continue to fire the rifles from behind the cover. Oh. Nice shot. Oh, God. Did you see that? Oh, my God. Lucas and Reznov both shot within about 5 seconds of each other. And Lieutenant General Lucas, kind enough to compliment his opponent on a good shot, which is nice. Hey, it was an excellent shot. I mean, look at it. This is where his corpse lies, and that's where it's from that tree in the centre of the screen. That's going on for 100 and 150 metres. So granted, with the improved rifling on these weapons, it's still a pretty damn good shot. So, let's find out, because there is some slicey goodness occurring. And as you can see, this is the Confederate State Cavalry. Sorry, Confederate State Artillery, I think, yep. As I pause to cough, sorry, still a little bit chesty. So, And you can see here, Corporal User. So you can see these guys working together. And there's Major Ralph from North Carolina. Fine moustache, sir. So, let's find out what's going on, because there's 25 versus 37. So there's still 37 Confederate State Army troops out there. And you can see here that the Orleans Guard are still having a little bit of stabby goodness occurring, and we just need to try and find them. There we go. Looks like we found them. So it's Private Oat. And you can see here, look at that in the distance, the cannons. And more Confederate State forces moving up to support and reinforce. Volunteer Luca from... Okay, perhaps not. And recruit Barry, making sure that if he had died of some, or if he had fallen over due to some sort of... Oh dear. Due to some kind of problem, so... Looks like he's about to be executed for team killing. But never mind. And you can see now the Confederate State forces moving in onto the Union forces. Up on that high hill near Camp AFK, this is the push that they're trying to do. I'm impressed by this guy's ability to flute. And not carry a flute. Good whistler. But the trouble is they're doing a push against an encampment that has the advantage. Whoops-a-daisy. Looks like Private Jeff has just been punched. Or Neuralgic has just been punched to death by Jeff. So, yeah, let's just say discipline in the ranks is not what it should be. But, you know. So they're going to be pushing up against this cannon encampment, and the problem is obviously they're not going to be pushing in a line because that would just be suicide, but they are going to be pushing up across an open plain with not a lot of cover available to them. And you can see the cannonballs are going to be fired out in their general direction. You're going to have rifled guns being shot as well in their general directions. Capitine gets taken down by a nice shot from John Smith, but here comes the Confederate State forces up against the 17 remaining members of the Union. As Lieutenant Colonel Theodore is taken down as well. It is time for King of the Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Incognito wants to be very, very careful with that next shot. As you can see, Louisiana volunteers cutting through the members of the Union artillery team. You can see them pushing forward. Is he going to be able to get that in? Yes, he is. And he takes down Talek with the cannon. But he didn't have the... He did not have the canister shot. As Froggy DA, the mass murdering Froggy, has been killed. And now you can see them returning to the artillery fort. Fort Derp, built nearby. And there's Corporal Barry, who's trying to defend it. And now they're basically running away from it. What? And now Staff Sergeant Incognito has Caribou killed somebody. Oh, nice slice. Now he's going to be... Oh, another nice slice. Incognito's in trouble. Yes, he's in a lot of trouble. Right, so... Let's see what happens, because now you've got the remaining Union forces. 5 remaining Union forces. Up against the remaining members. Oh, Captain Walter. Taken down. He must have a script running or something. Two left. Up against an NG. Oh, the NG's down. Oh dear. Is this Barry on Barry action? There's Barry. And there's Barry. Too many Barrys. Barry's going to surrender, but it won't do any good. Because as soon as he turns to surrender, he's going to get stabbed. There we go. So he got frozen. And yeah, not a lot of surrendering happened right there. So, what can you say? Problem solved. Never mind, we'll move on to the next round. And so, we return on a new map. And this is called Little Roundtop, as made by Theodore. And you can see here, this is actually the hill, Little Roundtop, as you can see. And they have cannon positions for the likes of these guys. So you can see these cannons placed in good positions. Now, you can see down here with plenty of cover for people to hide behind. You can actually make your way down here past what's known as Devil's Den, which is the spot you're about to look at now. Plenty of good hard cover behind the rocks and the artillery placement for the Confederate States. And look at that. Looks like a nice mortar in place there. And obviously standard cannons on the other side. There's Malope. And the Confederate States spawn will be over here. So, they run to Devil's Den, and then they begin the attack on Little Roundtop. Now, you obviously have forest over to the right, you have a wheat field over to the left, and we shall give you some more information as soon as we get over there. So, nice open area, plenty of areas for cavalry to operate. You can see also it looks like more horses over there. And over here by Slider Farm. You can see here. And actually, no. I don't think this is Slider Farm. I think Slider Farm's further down there. But apparently this might be called the Theodore is Awesome Village, which I would take issue with the naming of it. I think they need something a little bit more catchy than that. So, we'll have to wait and see. And you've obviously got the wheat fields over the other side. So, what you're going to probably see is a lot of the artillery moving up to the top of Little Roundtop here, as far as the Union spawn are concerned, because they have the ability to get there. So here is the first round on Roundtop, and we are at the Confederate State spawn. Let's go and look at the Union. Right now all we're hitting is the AFKs. Here we go. So here is the Union spawn. They will be moving probably towards Little Roundtop up here. Obviously they can move over to the wheat field on the far right. But we'll have to wait and see how that works out. So you can see obviously one of the guys here, Colonel Chadwick, great name, will be moving up towards the top, getting visibility to make sure that the cannons haven't been taken, and then obviously to check the area. Now the good thing is about this particular hill is there's plenty of cover, but there's also plenty of trees, which means it might be possible, if somebody can get around unnoticed, you could do a sneak attack up through this forest, and people wouldn't notice you until it was far too late. But you do obviously have plenty of forestation down here, And then obviously this lovely wheat field with plenty of barricades around it. And a nice little encampment into the centre. Along with cover and a little, you know, wheat pile and little burning brazier or whatever the hell they call them. No, that's not, you know, not the things the women wear. But, you know what I mean. Anyway. So, let's see what's going on as we move back to Little Roundtop. You can hear the cannonballs bouncing over this hill already. Look at that, the cannonballs coming in. Apparently Nitek's lost. Oh, look at that explosion coming in from the mortars. So let's just see. Now this is interesting because I don't think that the Confederates... No, they do have a mortar. And look at that. Cannonball bouncing in between everybody. Oh, Colonel Lee. Oh, look at that. These guys are getting... Oh, the Confederate State Artillery is just getting such fantastic range. So this is the mortar. And PFC Grigory is in the process of reloading. And you can see the standard cannon starting to be pushed back into their positions. And firing is commencing on Devil's Den. See them looking for a potential target. There you go, there's a line there right in the centre of the screen. And that's a hit. A palpable hit into Private Jota. So he gets finished off, and now this small line that's coming out from the Union encampment and defensive position, led by Captain Rivas from the 19th Louisiana Volunteers. And Bojangles in there, and I.K. Hopper gets taken down from South Carolina. That's a battle we want to watch. There's Lieutenant General Lucas, currently alive, but may soon not be. Let's see if we can find these guys who are having this sword fight. There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is brutal. In the middle of a forest as well. Oh, this isn't going to go well. There we go. Lieutenant Colonel Fazil has been taken down over to the left of Theodore Farm. So, but the trouble is now the Union forces have moved in to, obviously, sorry, not Theodore Farm, Theodore Village. So now they're going to be pinned in there if the Union forces can keep them in that position. But the army is taking quite a large route around. Look at this. Oh my goodness, so many of them. Nuclear goat. And they're looking to do a complete end around on the enemy. Coming in behind the Union spawn and then up onto Little Roundtop from behind. So, let's see what happens. Where is all that fire and stabbing occurring? It's currently with the 88. There we go. So it looks like these Union forces here. See, he's looking behind him, but he's also trying not to ride into a rock. Oh, taken down. Oh. Oh, brutal. Den Sickles. Actually, watch behind you. That sword literally just whistled right past his ear. But he's coming in. He's got to be careful. Oh, look at that. Watch out. Oh, that sliced the top of his hat. That's the reason he's got a flat hat. Yeah, he's now got a flat everything. As poor old Den Sickles did not survive that attempt. So, over at Theodore Village, a battle is commencing between the Confederate State Army and the Union Army. You can see here, there's Volunteer Riddle, Privateer Otel, or Oat, Ezio, currently running backwards. Oh, nice stab, sir! Unfortunately, he got stabbed in the face at the same time, so it didn't really work out as well as he would have liked, but, you know. Them's is the break. Somebody just died on a horse, which is no very good thing. So, let's just see. Adjutant Hawk. Let's see. Vladimir Lenin. Yeah. Defending from behind one of these wonderful tree stumps, so plenty of hard cover, good for these guys. And they can actually then defend against people pushing up the hill, which would be these guys. So Louisiana Volunteers, there's Jonathan there. And there's also Private Campo. And they're trying to use the hill to actually mask their approach, which is essentially what they've done over here. There's Bojangles moving in as well. And it looks like these guys have essentially decided to move back. Oh, look at that. Dark Reaver taken down. Chief Redhawk's also finished off as well. More of the Louisiana Volunteers coming under a bit of fire. Campo takes down Dealer. And now let's see. Oh, bit of fire coming in. Let's see John Smith going up against one of the enemy. And he doesn't... Oh, and a team kill. Oh, no, that was Captain Rivas actually out with a pistol. Brutality coming in from Rivas there. He's reloading his 6-shooter. Now, that'll obviously take a little bit of time. Got to use that lever at the front to ram home the ball. And unfortunately, his ball's got rammed home via a bayonet from behind. Never mind. So... let's find out what's going on. It's the Confederate State Cavalry. How many members of the Union are remaining? 17 in total. 29 members of the Confederate States. So, look at all these numbers here. So these guys are all moving up onto Little Roundtop now. And they're coming under fire. Oh, Alex Frankie taken down brutally. Nice shot coming in from PFC Thompson. However, PFC Thompson will now need to cheese it and get away from the enemy that is coming in his direction. Yeah, that's going to... Oh, dear me. So, as you can see, let's just see. Oh, Corporal Barry trying to make a run for it. Dams 14 managing to get team killed. And another member, Cookie Man, being finished off. So the 8 remaining members of the Union, look at this. They're putting barricades in to slow them down. Try and cause them problem. Look at this. Look at this. This is just madness. And there's Private Campo. And look at this. Lieutenant Colonel Blab. There's Staff Sergeant Incognito. Trying to lighter people to death. And 5 Union forces remain. And there's now, it's going to be 4. Yes, it is. So, the question is, where are those 4? Let's see. Could this be them? No. Let's see. So these guys, the thing is, when they got no enemies to kill, they just get into a punch-up, see? And that's blatant female abuse, that. Oh, Lieutenant Colonel Eric. Brutal kill. Caboose from North Carolina. Not anymore. But facepalm. Doing his best to try and kill as many people as he can. Nice turning stab. The Odur is taken down. Oh, and Volunteer Riddler and Irish as well. Oh, look at this facepalm going absolutely nuts. And finally killed. Vladimir Lenin. And Billy Bailey are the 2 remaining members of the Union forces. So you can see here Vladimir Lenin stabbing like a mofo. with the entire Confederate army after him. No, he's been punched and shot in the chest. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to do a fun round, I think, at the end.
Women fight with swords.
Okay, so this could get messy.
Men fight with cannon.
So the Union are set to fire.
Women fight with swords. Men fight with cannon.
As you can hear, all those shotguns and rocket launchers. So the Confederate State Army is not allowed to fire as of yet. You see them all moving. There we go, the charge has begun. Charge that bloody hill. So we're following them as they charge in. Oh, look at this. Yeah, out comes the fire. Look at... Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So much fire coming in. They're charging through. Oh, look at these brave men charging through the artillery barrage coming in from the Union forces. Oh, my goodness. So much fire coming in as the Confederates are charging the Union hill against admin horses and explosions and rocket launchers. Oh, look at that. Oh, and Colonel Sharp from the 4th Texas gets taken down. I think that might have been nuclear goat. It's difficult to tell. Look at that. They're taking so much fire, and the Confederate State Army decimated in numbers. Decimated in numbers, but still continuing to push. Look at this. Fantastic. God, this is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Plenty of fire coming in from these guys. But they're still coming. They're still pushing. Look at this. I was about to say, there we go. Commentator's curse. On Oates, and there's Takara. And now still more people making their... Oh no! More people coming down as Musil gets taken down. And yeah, Leaper saying he's having Vietnam flashbacks. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh! Epsilon. Look at this. Oh my heavens. There's one man left. Correction. So, as you can see, yeah, there's not a lot of these guys left. Ulysses Grant deciding to take cover behind a rock, and sensibly so, in my opinion. Praetorian Overload has managed to get in behind the enemy, but no, he gets shotgunned. General Lucas with grenades. And down goes another one. There's Nitek in as in his Lincoln hat. Oh dear, oh dear. Chadwick saying that was a every one of his charges was just demonstrated by that. Just nutty, absolutely nutty. So it looks like they're going to do. Oh dear. They're going to do another charge. Oh dear me. Yeah, strange how the Union won that round. Weird that. So this time they're doing it with grenades. So... I wonder how far they're throwing him. That's not too bad. At least they've got a general idea of the range. Who's that guy trying to avoid them? And here come the CSA. It looks like somebody... Colonel Hale has just killed most of the Union by throwing a grenade at them. A horse ran in front of him. Oh, brilliant. Look at this guy throwing. So utterly ridiculous. Apparently there's only... Oh. Look at all these guys running into battle, saluting. Look at them all. Don't even know where they're going. Oh dear, just ridiculous. Oh dear, poor old Cuthbert. Look at this. Colonel Theodore! There's Centeno Blub. There's a beacon on Blab, so he's been singled out for attention. Let's see what's going on over here, shall we? There seem to be a lot of Union people around here for some bizarre reason. Oh yes, they all died. Oh dear, just brilliant. And there we go. Private Cohen has taken the hill for the Confederate States. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That has been North and South for this week. We'll see you next time.